A mother kidnapped her daughter and disappeared. 40 years later, police find her. Before we dive in, kindly hit the subscribe button and let us know where you are watching from in the comment. Started like any other morning. No alarms, no warnings, no sense that history was about to break. The mother woke early, before the sun, before the child. She moved quietly through the house, like she didn't want to wake the walls. The little girl was still asleep, curled up, hair messy, breathing slow, peaceful. The mother watched her for a long time, longer than usual, as if she was memorizing her. This was not a spur-of-the-moment decision. It hadn't come from nowhere. It had been growing. For months, for years. The custody battle had drained her. Court dates, lawyers, paperwork, judges who didn't listen. She believed the system was against her. She believed she was about to lose everything. Her daughter, her purpose, her reason. Fear does strange things to people. It sharpens the mind. It narrows choices. It convinces you that extremes are necessary. She packed lightly, just the essentials. Clothes, cash, documents. Some real, some forged. She had practiced this moment in her head. Every step, every turn, every excuse. The child stirred, rubbed her eyes, sat up slowly. "Mom!" A soft voice, sleepy, trusting. "We're going on a trip." The mother smiled, too quickly, too brightly. "Where?" the child asked. "Somewhere safe." The word safe mattered. It always had. They left before the neighbors woke, before anyone noticed, before the day could interfere. The car pulled away, quietly, casually, like 1,000 other mornings. By the time anyone realized something was wrong, they were already gone. The father arrived hours later, for a scheduled visit, a bag of toys in his hand, a smile on his face. The door didn't open. He knocked, once, then again. No answer. He tried calling, straight to voicemail. That's when the unease began, a tightening in his chest, a sense that something wasn't right. He drove to the police station. He was calm. He explained. He waited. "They're probably just running late." That's what he was told. He waited longer, then longer still. By nightfall, the truth became unavoidable. She hadn't taken the child for the day. She had taken her forever. A report was filed. A description circulated. A search began. But this wasn't a stranger abduction. There was no ransom note, no broken window, no violent struggle. It was a parental kidnapping. And in those days, that mattered. Police resources were limited. Jurisdiction was complicated. Lines blurred between family court and criminal law. She had a head start, and she knew it. Within days, she crossed state lines, changed license plates, adopted a new story. She rehearsed it constantly. A single mother, an abusive ex, a fresh start. People believed her because she believed herself. The child asked questions. First, "Why can't we go home? Why can't I talk to Dad?" The mother answered calmly, carefully. "He doesn't love us. He's dangerous. He doesn't want what's best for you." Children trust without defense. They absorb truth as it's given. Soon the questions stopped, and silence took their place. Years passed. Names changed. Addresses changed. Stories evolved. The mother became skilled at disappearing, avoiding paper trails, choosing towns where no one asked too many questions. She avoided doctors, avoided schools that required records, avoided authority. The child learned the rules. Don't ask questions. Don't talk about the past. Don't attract attention. This became normal. Back home, the father refused to stop. He plastered flyers, contacted media, called shelters, called police departments across the country. He memorized her face, her smile, her birthmarks. He imagined every possibility, every ending, most of them unbearable. Years turned into decades. The case grew cold, then colder. New officers rotated in. Old ones retired. Files gathered dust. But the father never stopped looking. He marked birthdays, graduations that never came, Milestones he never saw. He kept her room untouched. For years, then decades. Hope is stubborn. It survives even when logic doesn't. Meanwhile, the daughter grew up, believing a story that wasn't hers, living under a name that wasn't real. She sensed something was off. Children always do. The way her mother flinched at sirens. The way she refused photographs. The way she controlled every detail. But fear was framed as love. Control as protection. And love makes people forgive a lot. By the time the daughter became an adult, the lie was complete. Her identity, her history, her sense of self, all built on one decision made before she could remember. And the mother? She relaxed. Just a little. 40 years is a long time to run. Long enough to believe you've won. But time doesn't erase truth. It buries it. And buried things have a way of resurfacing. Somewhere, quietly, technology was advancing. Databases were growing. DNA was being logged. Paper records were being digitized. The net was tightening. Slowly, silently. The mother didn't notice. She thought the past was dead. She was wrong, because all it takes is one question, one form, one search, and after 40 years of silence, the truth was about to speak. The tiny mistakes, the digital footprint, and the moment investigators realized this missing child might still be alive. For years, she believed she was invisible, not hiding, gone. She had done everything right. That's what she told herself. Moved often, changed names, never stayed too long. She avoided patterns, or so she thought. But time changes the rules. And while she was living in the past, the world moved forward. Back when she disappeared, records were paper, boxes, filing cabinets, dust. Now they were digital, connected, searchable, and that changed everything. The first crack didn't come from police, came from routine. The daughter was grown, an adult, trying to live a normal life. She needed paperwork, nothing dramatic, just something simple. A job application, a housing form, an ID renewal. She filled in her information, name, date of birth, place of birth, and hesitated. Something didn't feel right. It never had. Her mother had always handled documents, always insisted, always said it was easier that way. But now the daughter was on her own, and questions were unavoidable. She submitted the form and waited. Days passed. Then weeks. Then a letter arrived. It wasn't accusatory. It wasn't dramatic. It was procedural. We're unable to verify the provided records. That sentence lingered. She showed her mother. The reaction was instant. Too instant. Panic flashed across her face. Gone just as fast. Replaced with calm. It's a mistake, her mother said. They happen all the time. But the daughter saw it. That flicker, that fear. For the first time, she wondered. Not vaguely, not quietly, but directly. What if something was wrong? Her mother made calls, pulled strings, provided alternative documents. The problem went away, for now. But the system remembered. Databases don't forget. Meanwhile, in another state, a cold case unit was being reorganized. Old files, unsolved disappearances, cases written off decades ago. One detective noticed something. A missing child. Parental abduction. Never found. The father still alive. Still calling. Still asking. That mattered. They reopened the file. Quietly. Without announcements. Without press. They digitized everything. Birth records. Custody filings. Social security entries. And ran comparisons. Technology doesn't get tired. It doesn't lose interest. It doesn't forget faces. Patterns emerged. A name change here. A delayed registration there. A birth certificate issued years after the birth. In a different state. That was unusual. Very unusual. They followed it. Addresses appeared. Then disappeared. A trail. Thin, but real. The mother had slipped. Just once. Maybe twice. Enough. She had enrolled the daughter in a program years earlier. One that required a federal form. At the time, it meant nothing. Now it was everything. The system flagged inconsistencies. A date that didn't match. A location that didn't align. A human might have missed it. Computer didn't. The detective stared at the screen, heart pounding. What if she's alive? That question changed the investigation. They pulled more data, compared fingerprints, names, aliases. They found her. Not directly, but close enough. A woman, living quietly, no criminal record, no drama, and a mother, living with her. The detective paused. Parental abductions don't usually end like this. They don't last 40 years. They don't stay clean. This one had. Almost. They contacted another agency, then another. Slowly, carefully. They couldn't afford a mistake. If they were wrong, they'd destroy lives. If they were right, they'd rewrite history. They watched. From a distance. They checked employment records, medical visits, tax filings. Everything lined up. And didn't. It was her. They were sure now. The missing child wasn't missing anymore. She just didn't know who she was. The mother sensed it. Before anyone knocked. She always had. That old instinct returned. The one that had pushed her to run in the first place. She became anxious, restless, short-tempered. She warned the daughter again. Never trust officials. They ruin families. They lie. The daughter listened, but something had shifted. Fear no longer sounded like love. Then the knock came. Not loud, not aggressive, just firm. Two detectives. Polite, calm. They asked for the mother by name. Her real name. Her face drained of color. The daughter watched, confused, alarmed. "Can we talk?" The mother nodded. Slowly. This moment had lived in her nightmares. Now it stood in her doorway. She stepped outside, closed the door behind her. The detectives spoke gently. They always do. They didn't accuse, didn't threaten. They asked questions. Simple ones. About her past. About her daughter. About where they came from. She lied. Automatically. Fluently. She had rehearsed these answers for decades. But the detectives didn't argue. They just listened and nodded. Then they asked one final question. "Do you know why we're here?" Silence. She did. Of course she did. "I think there's been a mistake." Her voice was steady. They smiled politely. "There has," one said. "Just not the kind you think." They handed her a card. "A number. Please call us." They left. The door closed. The mother leaned against it, heart racing, hands shaking. 40 years. And it was unraveling. She didn't sleep that night. She thought about running again, packing, leaving. But where? She was tired, older, and the net was everywhere now. The daughter noticed. The pacing, the phone calls, the panic. She asked, "Mom, what's going on?" The mother looked at her, really looked, and for the first time she didn't answer. That silence said more than words ever could. The detectives didn't rush. They waited. They built their case. They confirmed DNA through distant relatives, without tipping anyone off. The results came back, positive. After 40 years, they had her, and now came the hardest part, telling the truth. The arrest, the confrontation, and the moment the daughter learns the life she lived was never hers. For more chilling true crime stories, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. The call came early in the morning. Too early to be good news. The mother answered on the second ring. Her voice steady, practiced. The detective spoke calmly. He said her real name again, the one she hadn't used in decades. He asked her to come in, just to talk. She agreed. She always had. Refusing would raise questions. She hung up and stood still. Her heart was pounding. Not fast. Heavy. She knew this moment. She had imagined it 1,000 times. Every version ended the same way, with the truth exposed. She didn't pack. Didn't run. She looked at the daughter sitting at the table, scrolling her phone. Unaware, the mother almost spoke, almost confessed, almost ended it herself. But fear stopped her. They drove together. The daughter insisted. She always did. The police station felt colder than expected. Too bright. Too clean. They were led into separate rooms. That was the first crack. The daughter frowned. Confused. Uneasy. The mother felt the floor tilt beneath her. In the interview room, the detectives didn't rush. They offered water. They asked about her day. About the weather. Then they asked about the past. Where she was born. Where she grew up. Where her daughter was born. She answered without hesitation. The same story. The same lies. They listened. They nodded. Then one detective slid a folder across the table. Inside were documents. Old ones. Faded. Official. A birth certificate. Not the one she used. The real one. A custody order. A missing child report. Her hands trembled. They didn't accuse her. They didn't raise their voices. They said one sentence. Just one. We know who you are. The room went silent. 40 years of running ended in 6 words. She felt tired. Bone tired. She admitted it slowly. Piece by piece. As if saying it all at once would destroy her. She said she was afraid. She said she felt cornered. She said she believed she was protecting her child. The detectives listened. But they didn't comfort her. In the other room, the daughter waited. Her leg bounced. Her chest felt tight. She had never been separated from her mother like this. Not like this. A female detective entered. Gentle voice. Soft eyes. She asked simple questions. Her name. Her date of birth. Her place of birth. The daughter answered. Then hesitated. The detective paused. Are you sure? That question hit harder than any accusation. The daughter felt heat rise in her chest. Her hands went cold. The detective told her there were inconsistencies. Small ones. Paper ones. She showed her documents. Then showed others. Photos appeared. A little girl. Younger. Same eyes. The daughter laughed nervously. This couldn't be real. Then came the words that shattered everything. You were reported missing as a child. The room spun. She said no. She said that was impossible. She said her mother would never. The detective didn't interrupt. She said her father's name. The real one. The daughter froze. She had heard that name before. Whispered. Angrily. Always framed as danger. The detective explained. Slowly. Carefully. About the custody case. About the disappearance. About the years of searching. The daughter felt sick. Her stomach twisted. Every memory replayed. Every warning. Every rule. Don't trust police. Don't ask questions. Don't dig into the past. It wasn't protection. It was control. Tears came fast. Uncontrolled. She felt grief for a childhood she never knew. Anger for the truth she was denied. Guilt for loving the woman who lied to her. The detectives gave her space. Time. Across the hall, the mother sat alone. Her story was finished. She signed a statement. Her hands shaking. She asked one question. Just one. Is she okay? The detective nodded. But didn't say more. The arrest was quiet. No cuffs in the hallway. No cameras. Just a door closing. The daughter didn't see her taken away. Not yet. She asked to be alone. She stared at the wall. Nothing. Everything. Her life suddenly felt fake. Like a set built on lies. Hours later, she was told about her father. Alive. Still searching. That broke her completely. She cried until there was nothing left. The idea that someone loved her from afar for 40 years. That someone never gave up. It hurt. And it healed. At the same time. That night, she didn't go home. She couldn't. The house felt wrong now. Like a stage after the play ends. The mother sat in a cell. Staring at concrete walls. She thought about the day she left. The choice she made. She thought about all the times she almost stopped running. Almost told the truth. She wondered if it had been worth it. There was no answer. For the daughter, sleep didn't come. Images replayed. Questions screamed. Who was she really? What else was a lie? Morning arrived without relief. The truth was out now. And there was no going back. The courtroom, the reunion, and the impossible question of forgiveness. The courtroom smelled of polished wood and coffee. The mother sat at the defense table. Her hands were folded. She looked older than her years. Her eyes were tired. She did not look at anyone. Not the daughter. Not the press. Not the father. The prosecution began. They laid out the facts clearly. Dates, places, documents, evidence. 40 years of disappearance compressed into one room. Every lie, every false identity, every forged record, every move she had made, all traced, all documented. The daughter listened, silent, heart pounding. She felt as if she were shrinking, smaller and smaller, unable to escape the weight of the story she had been living. The defense spoke next. They said the mother had acted out of fear. She believed she was protecting her child. She was trying to keep her safe. She had loved her daughter. Her actions were motivated by devotion, by the desperation of a mother who felt powerless. The daughter heard the words but could not reconcile them with the life she had lived. Every day under her mother's care had been strict, controlled, and shadowed by fear. Love had been tangled with lies. The gallery was silent. Some journalists scribbled notes. Some leaned forward. Some whispered quietly. The daughter felt the tension in the room, the eyes, the cameras. The mother remained expressionless. She did not flinch. She did not cry. She had rehearsed this her entire life. The victim impact statements came next. The daughter stood. She was trembling. Her voice was raw, but steady. She spoke first of the mother who raised her, of the woman who fed her, clothed her, taught her skills to survive, of the moments that felt like love, even when they were shadowed by fear. She acknowledged that love. Then she spoke of the theft, of her identity, of the life that had been stolen. She described birthdays she never celebrated with her father. She described milestones she had imagined in her mind but never experienced. She spoke of years lost, of memories that belonged to someone else, and of a childhood that was rewritten. She did not spare the mother from the truth. She did not hold back. She described anger, betrayal, confusion. She admitted guilt at loving someone who had deceived her. She admitted grief for a father she never saw and a life she could have had. Her words hung in the air. Silence followed each sentence. The courtroom felt heavy, charged with emotion, almost unbearable. The judge listened, patiently. He nodded slowly. He allowed the daughter to sit after finishing. The daughter's hands were shaking. Her chest felt tight, her throat raw. She had said everything she could. The prosecution closed. They asked for a sentence that reflected the harm caused. Not just the act of taking the child, but the decades of deception, the destruction of a life, the ongoing psychological impact. They argued that even though time had passed, justice must still be served. The defense argued for leniency. The mother had acted under fear. She had believed her actions were necessary. She had no previous criminal record. She had aged. 40 years on the run had taken their toll. The defense argued that punishment should consider intent as well as action. The mother remained silent. She did not look at her daughter. She did not plead. She did not cry. Her silence was its own statement. She had survived fear. She had survived years of evasion. Now she waited for judgment. The daughter left the courtroom briefly. She needed air. She could not breathe in the heavy room. Outside, the winter sun was weak, barely warming the street. She leaned against the wall. Her thoughts raced. The mother had taken her life and rebuilt it. She had stolen identity, name, and history. Yet she had also raised her, taught her, and protected her in her own twisted way. Love and harm were impossible to separate. The father arrived. He was older than she remembered. Lines etched into his face. Hair thinner. "I still searching." He looked at her and said nothing, just held out a hand. She hesitated, then took it. Tears came again. Silent, unstoppable. They walked slowly toward each other. 40 years of waiting collapsed into one touch. Inside, the trial resumed. The jury deliberated. Each day was tense. Each hour felt like decades. The mother's fate rested in hands that had never known her. She could not control this world. She could no longer manipulate the story. When the verdict was announced, it was swift. Guilt, conviction, years in prison, less than the maximum, more than symbolic. The mother's face remained calm. She nodded. She had expected this. A sentence she knew would arrive eventually. 40 years of running had ended, and consequences followed. The daughter did not watch her mother leave. She stayed seated. Her emotions were raw. She felt grief, relief, confusion, anger, love. Forgiveness was impossible to define. She knew it would take years to understand how she felt. She understood that healing was a slow process. Over the next weeks, she met with her father. Slowly, carefully, they spoke of the past, of the letters he had written, of the milestones he had missed, of hope he never abandoned. She told him of the life she had lived, of rules that felt arbitrary but had protected her, of a childhood that had been invented for her. They cried together, sometimes in silence, sometimes through broken words. Therapy became part of her routine. She began to untangle decades of fear and loyalty. She mourned two childhoods, the one she lost and the one she had lived. She mourned the mother who had cared for her and the woman who had stolen her identity. Each grief intertwined, each complicated the other. She learned to hold contradictions without collapsing. She learned that anger and love could coexist, that betrayal did not erase every memory of kindness. The mother settled into prison, quiet, isolated. Time stretched endlessly. She wrote letters, apologies, justifications, regret. Some letters were sent, some kept private. Each page weighed heavy, each word a reminder of choices made. She faced the reality of a life built on fear and deception, now stripped of control. The daughter slowly rebuilt her life. She reclaimed her real name. She updated her documents. Legal identity restored. She changed places she lived. She explored work and education she had been denied. Each step was deliberate. Each choice felt like a small victory. Each moment carried the weight of decades lost. Public reaction faded. Headlines: the trial was over. The verdict delivered. The mother was convicted. Years in prison awaited her, a sentence that reflected the decades of deception and harm. She did not resist. She did not cry. She had expected this outcome. 40 years of running had ended, and consequences had finally arrived. The daughter stayed seated as the mother was led away. She felt numb, relief mixed with grief, anger mixed with sorrow, confusion mixed with clarity. She had spent decades living a life that was not her own. Now she had the truth. The weight of the lie pressed down on her, heavier than any courtroom could hold. She thought about her childhood, about the memories she had believed were real, about the ones that were invented, about birthdays celebrated in secret, about milestones she had imagined, about love and fear intertwined so tightly that she had never recognized the difference. She mourned two childhoods, the one she had lost and the one she had lived under deception. Her father waited patiently outside the courtroom. He had aged. The lines on his face were deeper, but his eyes still searched, still hoped. He reached for her hand. She hesitated, then took it. Decades of absence collapsed into one touch. Tears came unbidden, streaming freely. They held each other silently, both acknowledging the years they had lost, both understanding the years they could never reclaim. Therapy became part of her routine. She learned to untangle decades of fear, loyalty, and love. She began to rebuild herself on her terms. She grieved what was lost. She learned to accept the contradictions of her feelings. Anger and love could coexist. Betrayal and care could coexist. Forgiveness was not immediate. It might never be full, but understanding became possible. The mother adjusted to prison life. Quiet, isolated. She wrote letters, apologies, explanations, regret. Some were sent. Some remained private. She reflected on every choice she had made, every lie, every step she had taken to stay hidden, every year that had passed while her daughter lived under her control. She faced the magnitude of her actions alone. The daughter reclaimed her legal identity, her real name, her birth certificate, her social security number. Every document restored a piece of herself that had been stolen. She moved forward carefully, deliberately. She made choices for herself for the first time without fear. She explored education, employment, relationships, and life experiences that had been denied. Each step was a small victory. Each decision carried the weight of decades lost. She also faced questions she could not answer. Which moments of her upbringing had been genuine? Which were manipulation? Which feelings had been authentic, and which were fabricated to enforce control? She could not know, and she learned that some truths would never exist. That understanding brought both clarity and pain. The father remained present, supporting her without pushing. He did not demand forgiveness or understanding. He waited for her to approach on her terms. They rebuilt connections slowly. They revisited photographs, old letters, and stories of the childhood she had missed. Reconciliation was partial, cautious, and gradual. It was real, but it was never complete. Some gaps would remain forever. The mother, now serving her sentence, reflected daily. She faced the consequences of a life built on fear and deception. 40 years of evasion ended in concrete and walls. She wrote letters of apology to the daughter. Some were read, some were left unopened. Each page a reminder of what was lost. Each word a chance to acknowledge wrongdoing too late to undo it. The daughter built a life from fragments. She explored a world she had been denied. She learned independence. She tested trust. She understood that the past could not be changed, but the future belonged to her. Each new day was an assertion of identity, a reclamation of life. She told her story to raise awareness about parental abductions, identity theft within families, and the psychological impact of being denied one's true self. People listened. They learned. They connected. Time passed. Seasons changed. The daughter's life gained stability. She pursued relationships and careers with caution, wisdom, and resilience. Each success was a triumph over the decades of theft and fear. She found moments of joy. She allowed herself small victories, accepting that they could coexist with grief and anger. Life became a mix of accomplishment, reflection, and healing. The mother remained in prison. She faced herself daily. She could not control the narrative anymore. Letters became her lifeline. Reflection became her routine. She accepted the reality that 40 years of deception could not be undone. She had stolen identity, childhood, and trust. Now she faced consequences, isolated in a cell, stripped of power. The daughter explored her personal history. She rebuilt her past by seeking records, connecting with distant relatives, piecing together memories, and reclaiming connections lost in time. Each discovery was a small anchor. Each fact confirmed her existence. Each connection reinforced her sense of self. Despite the trauma, she found moments of healing. She laughed. She cried. She celebrated milestones she had missed. She explored the world she had been denied. She realized resilience could exist alongside grief. Strength could coexist with pain. Identity could be rebuilt from fragments. The public moved on. Headlines faded. The case became a cautionary tale. Investigators learned from it. Technology had finally reached her. Digital footprints, databases, and investigative persistence had solved a 40-year disappearance. Lessons were recorded. Policies improved. Systems adjusted. The story became part of law enforcement training. For the daughter, public perception mattered little. What mattered was reclaiming herself, rebuilding her life, understanding her history, navigating relationships with careful attention, protecting herself emotionally, forging a future she could control. Questions persisted. Can love justify a stolen life? Can forgiveness exist when decades of identity were stolen? Can childhoods ever be reclaimed? These questions lingered but did not paralyze her. She understood that life had moved forward. She could not undo the past. She could only live in the present and shape the future. The mother reflected on choices. She recognized the harm caused. She recognized the loss. She could not fix what was gone. She could only live with it. Letters continued. Some read, some not. Each word was a testament to the life she altered. Each day in prison was a reminder of the consequences she could not escape. The daughter redefined herself. She pursued passions, relationships, and achievements without fear of the past. She embraced her identity fully. She rebuilt connections with family. She explored the life she could finally call her own. Each step was deliberate, measured, and intentional. The father remained a steady presence. He did not rush. He allowed the daughter to define the terms of their relationship. He supported her emotionally and practically. Together, they recovered fragments of lost time. Photographs, letters, stories, shared memories. Trust was rebuilt slowly. Pain lingered, but love and understanding began to grow in measured doses. The mother, serving her sentence, faced a future of reflection. She could not undo the past. She could not reclaim the life she had stolen. She could only endure consequences. For more chilling true crime stories, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.